Well, Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress have done today what governments over all these decades have failed entirely to do, and that is to take the mystery of how Netaji disappeared one step closer towards a closure. People in this country deserve to know just what happened. Mamata Banerjee had in the West Bengal government more than 12,400 pages of documents pertaining to Netaji and the family and that entire period for several decades. Why did Mamata at this stage decide to release those documents? Joining us now, the Trinamool Congress MP, Derek O'Brien. Derek, thanks very much for speaking to us. Why now? What was Mamata Banerjee's reasoning to release these documents now?
Well, why now? If she had all access to it even earlier, it would have been released earlier. Basically, we all know the birth date of Netaji, but there's a big question mark on when he died, even though Wikipedia says it's 18th of August 1945, but that also is a question mark, and there are so many other question marks. So in true Mamata Banerjee style, what you see is what you get. Transparency, accountability. If the people want to know, why hide anything? And she went one step further today by saying that this is only the first step. Now, if there's nothing to hide, then the center should release all the other files, because the people of this great nation need to know what really happened. Then that can be a controversy, that can be debated, that can be discussed, but for the moment, this is a great start, and I think today is a historic day, and I want to thank NDTV for being one of the few channels to play this story up, because we sometimes waste our time on trivialities, but this is such a big moment today, a historic day.
Last question to you. Your critics are saying that the Trinamool Congress is trying to use the legacy of Netaji to gain some sort of political ascendancy over parties like the BJP. How would you respond to that?
Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose is not the property of any political party in India. He is a great son of this country, and he belongs to each and every Indian. So if anyone is trying to, this is not the time to do politics. Politics has never been our priority. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let us walk the talk. This is what we've done today, and we don't want to challenge anybody to release the other documents. We want to persuade them. We want to urge them that we've taken a great step of 64 files. You go ahead and start counting from 65.
Well, the onus is clearly on the center now to once and for all perhaps put an end to this mystery. Let India know about what happened to one of our greatest sons. Thank you, Derek, very much for joining us. Joining us now to discuss her views on what really these new documents show. Do they actually show something very substantial? Dr. Purabi Roy, she was one of the researchers with the Asiatic Society that actually traveled to Russia to investigate Russian state archives. Thank you very much, ma'am, for speaking to us here. One of the foremost researchers and historians and writers on Netaji. It's a privilege speaking to you. What do you believe? What do you believe, ma'am, the documents today show?
Today's documents which have been released, and out of that 7 to 8 files were already sent to the Mukherjee Commission.
Yes.
So I went through it. Besides that, there are curious people who all the time started hunting here and there. That way, few readers or few Netaji lovers, somehow or other, they managed to get hold of the few files, not exactly files, few papers. But even then, I must welcome that the government of West Bengal and the chief minister took such a, very good step to release these files and to get us a chance,
Dr. Roy,
to give us a chance to go through it.
Are we any closer to unraveling the mystery on how Netaji disappeared?
See, the period is 37 to 47, so definitely I haven't gone through it so much. But even then, I can guess here that his disappearance and main thing that how he left India with the help of the communist leaders, and how the Communist Party of Soviet Union helped him to go up to Afghanistan with the help of Achar Singh Chena, the Gadar Party, who had been named as Larkin in Communist Party, CPSU in Soviet Union. And he also chose Bhagatram Talwar because he was also a member of Kirti Kisan Party, which was later became Communist Party. Yes. So all these communist leaders, including Ajay Ghosh and others, they took the responsibility and made him cross the northwest frontier. And the finance was, financial help came from our former Defense Minister Baldev Singh.
Last two questions to you. Firstly, ma'am, where do you believe Netaji died?
To tell you very frankly, going through all the details, I'm just throwing one question to you, that 1947 India got independence, and our first Prime Minister, he was so fond of socialist ideas and socialism, were not allowed up to 1953 to enter till Stalin's death. And even today, the historians are hunting, and if you ask them that Indo-Soviet friendship relations and that period, that is an absolutely dark period, and nobody would like to answer, both from the former USSR as well as the Indian authors like Bimla Prasad and others.
That Nehru prevented Netaji from coming back to India, and that he possibly died in the Soviet Union.
Of course. No, possibly no. I think that the end came somewhere after the 20th Congress of CPSU. After, because that was 1956, the Communist Party of Soviet Union. Yes.
So he was a prisoner.
Yes. And
he was a prisoner in a gulag. He was a prisoner in a gulag in Siberia.
No. I don't think so. Till now, I haven't got the papers. So also, I cannot.
Was he a guest of the Soviet Union, ma'am? Was he a guest of the Soviet Union?
Up to 53 till Stalin's death. Yes, up to 53 till Stalin's death. Because Stalin wanted to send him back through the comrades, our communist comrades.
Yes.
But the comrades, they just kept a dilly-dally, and at the same time they have sent the letters saying that in India people are forgetting Subhash Chandra Bose and forward bloc has no role to play.
All right.
And Netaji's name is waning.
All right, Dr. Roy, it's a real privilege to speak to you.
Thank you.
I'm sure this is a very exciting day for you as you go through, along with all of us, the 12,500 odd pages of those documents. It's an archival treasure, no doubt. What does it tell us? We don't know entirely at this stage. Thank you, ma'am, very much for being with us.
But thank you.
The decision of the Mamata Banerjee government to make public more than 12,000 pages of files which have existed in state archives for decades is the biggest step till date to unravelling the mystery over the disappearance of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Why is the significance of what has been made public? What exactly is that significance? Well, joining us now for their views, Mr. Chandra Bose, Netaji's grand-nephew, Anuj Zhar, the author who's written a book on the disappearance of Netaji, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, BJP leader, Sharmishta Mukherjee, spokesperson of the Congress Party, and Siddharth Satbhai, the writer and Bose researcher, joins us on Skype. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Mr. Bose, tell me this, more than 12,000 pages and I'm going to, before I come to that, I'm actually going to show our viewers what they actually look like, because it's 12,000 pages of documents, and it's got everything. It's got note sheets, it's got lots of things which are handwritten notes, it's got a lot of details on the sides of the pages. And what exactly does it pertain to? It pertains to everything about the sequence of events of the INA, the process of monitoring families related to Netaji, the processes of inquiring on Netaji, and intelligence of the British and of the government of India, what they were doing for so many years. Mr. Bose, my question to you is this: have you actually learned something new today?
Yes, it is actually 12,400 pages to be precise. We have obviously not been able to go through all the pages, but we have seen the criticality, the critical issues that get revealed with the declassification of the 64 files. One, of course, is the high level of snooping conducted, surveillance conducted on members of the Bose family, starting from Sarat Chandra Bose. Sarat Chandra Bose was a leader of the Congress Party. He was in the Congress for 42 long years, much more than Subhash. Chandra Bose. He was a leader of the Legislative Assembly of the Congress Party. He was about to become the Home Minister just before he got arrested by the British. Such a personality in his own right, Sarat Chandra Bose, a barrister at law, leader of the Congress, he subsequently left the Congress because he had differences with Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru on
No, but
partition
Mr.
of
Bose, let me
India
ask
and
you this.
partition of Bengal.
While we will discuss the investigations and the surveillance on your family, and that existed for a period of several decades after Netaji went missing.
Yeah.
The point that you're trying to make, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that the reason your family was being put under investigation or your movements were being tracked was because there was a fear that you would be in touch with Netaji. In other words, Netaji was not killed in that plane crash in what is now Taiwan.
You're absolutely right. These documents clearly indicate that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was very much alive after the 18th of August 1945. There is a letter, there is a CID Howrah document which clearly states that the American intelligence and the British intelligence, they had indicated that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was alive and he was most probably either in China or in Soviet Union. And he is also getting trained. Well, we need to examine that. He was under training. Now, the issue is,
he was under
Mr.
training to
Nehru's
come back to
government,
India
they were
at a time
absolutely sure
when the
that he was
Soviets
alive.
believed that international communism would reach India, and so he was in training to becoming a leader, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Well, that's what the intelligence report indicates. Now,
let me just come across. Let me
the American and the British.
Yeah.